Hello! Today we're going to be making vegetarian steamed dumplings for the Chinese New Year. They also happen to be vegan, so let's get cooking. So we're going to be using Bob's Red Mill, all-purpose flour, unbleached all-purpose flour, and we're going to be using 1 3/4 cups, and we have some water boiling. The recipe calls for 2 to 3 cups of boiling water, and we'll be adding that gradually in. Okay, so our water is boiled, and I have some dried mushrooms that I'm going to pour that over, and also I'm going to use the water for the dough as well. So up to 2 to 3 cups of the boiled water, and we're going to add it gradually into the flour. The dried mushrooms over here, and they're in the boiling water here, and then you have a cup of boiling water, and we're going to mix it into the flour gradually. You did not need the full 3 cups of water, and the recipe calls for a tablespoon of oil. So we're going to use avocado oil and toss a tablespoon in there. Okay, so while we were boiling the water earlier, I got some things out, and we have some bok choy here, which we have to weigh. So turn on our scale, make sure it's set to grams, and what we're looking for, we need 450 grams. So let's see. So that's 114, so we can just estimate the rest. 114. So here we go. This is a good amount of bok choy for a recipe. We may not make all the dumplings at once. There we go, and we're gonna use some carrots, and we're gonna cut them into little tiny matchstick pieces. And we're going to be using some bamboo shoots as well. They come in a can. Usually you can find them at a regular grocery store. That's what they look like. So we're just gonna chop these carrots up. So I pre-washed the carrots and bok choy. I soaked it in vinegar water for extra cleanliness. Okay, so our water is boiling here. So we're just gonna put the bok choy right in, and we're just gonna blanch this for a minute. I meant to say we're going to boil it for a minute and then like blanch it by plunging it into some icy water. Okay, back to our carrots. I have the matchstick pieces here, and we're just going to cut them into thirds. If you're feeling lazy, you could just do things your own way, as long as the carrots are like small pieces to fit into the dumplings. So you can even like use your blender to chop them up. Just like pulse them in the blender, and then you'll have smaller pieces. Actually, I'm gonna chop them even smaller than in thirds. Just use your judgment. Here we go. I just didn't want them to be super small so that you still have a little bit of a carrot to bite into. And by the way, you don't even need to boil this for the full minute. That's just a suggestion. If you find the leaves are getting a bit soft, since we're going to be steaming dumplings anyway, you don't really need to overdo it on the boiling process here. So we have the bok choy in our cool water bath here. The ice cubes have melted, by the way. And I'm not using the full amount because I'm not going to be doing the full batch of the dumplings. Okay, so we have the blanched bok choy here, and we're going to finally chop it for the dumplings. I'm using all of the bok choy and chopping it really fine. So I put it all in this colander to drip into the bowl, and I'm going to squish it down. I'm going to squish it to get all the excess water out. Okay, so this is just draining in the colander over a bowl here. We squished it out, and we have some firm tofu which we squished the water out of, and we're gonna chop that into little cubes. So we got our tofu cut into little cubes here. Now we're going to do the same with these mushrooms over here. We're going to cut them into little pieces. So here we got the liquid out of these mushrooms. I'm going to cut them up into pieces, and then I have the king oyster mushroom as well. These were dried shiitake mushrooms which were soaked, and now they're ready to go. So we got our cube tofu here. We got the little cubes of mushrooms here, the mixed shiitake and king oysters. And now we're going to chop these bamboo shoots into smaller pieces. Now, some people who have not had bamboo shoots before may find the taste a little bit different. So if you're feeling brave and want to try it, go ahead. It just has it's hard to describe the taste. You'll have to try it for yourself. We're going to peel this ginger and then we're going to mince it. If you watched one of my other videos, you would have learned this little trick with the spoon. You just drag the spoon across, and it does a good job of peeling the ginger without wasting a lot of the ginger. So you can maximize the efficiency and the use of food. We're just at the last bit of mincing this ginger here. I'm gonna mince it nice and fine. So we're gonna use 3 tablespoons of sesame oil. There we go. 1 tablespoon of soy sauce. a little bit of salt. We don't need a whole lot. And some pepper. Recipe calls for white pepper, but we don't have that, so we're working with what we got. We're gonna heat the pan over here now. Just a bit of oil to coat the pan. Let it heat up. Now we're gonna add ginger. Of the mushrooms. Carrots. Bamboo shoots. Tofu. I'm gonna stir it up now. We add the bok choy at the end, okay? And we're going to be rolling out our dough here and shaping them into about 3-inch rounds. Added in the liquid as well, seasoning. Stir in the minced bok choy here. He's helping me roll out the dough here, and we're going to get it into the little 3-inch rounds. He's talking about. He's too embarrassed. Here we go. So we're gonna get them into the little dumpling rounds. So I got some of the rounds here, and I'll just show you. They don't have to be perfect. So I have the filling, and you don't want to overfill them. You'll be tempted to, but they won't close easily that way. And then you just pinch them together. I know there are some tools out there that help you to make the perfect dumpling. It's up to you if you want to make the little design or whatever. You don't have to. Pretty much a spoonful. And some people are super anal and weigh their dough so that they get the exact same amount. But I didn't do that. And what I'm going to do is just coat them in a little bit of oil because I'm using this metal colander for the steaming process. My silicone steamer is not going to do the trick. It's not going to have enough room really, so this is going to help get it done faster here. Okay, so we have some cooked dumplings here. I did end up switching to the silicone steamer is just working a lot better than the colander. But it's always good to try new things in the kitchen. Don't be afraid. Just try it out. Don't be afraid of failing or flopping or whatever. Just you have to take it easy in the kitchen. Have some fun. Just experiment a bit. Okay, and finally for the sauce for the dumplings, the sauce that my teacher has and the recipe from when I went to George Brown. So it's a rice vinegar with some ginger and chilies, and just mix it all together, let it sit there until you're ready to enjoy your dumplings. It's as simple as that, and you can use whatever sauce you feel like, any other Asian sauce. Here's a vegetarian oyster sauce. So the base of this sauce is actually mainly mushrooms, but it's thicker sauce. Oops, this one has. So it's kind of almost like the consistency of barbecue sauce. Vegetarian oyster sauce. A little bit goes a long way. It has, a distinct taste, so feel free to give it a try. Here you go, some steamed dumplings for the Chinese New Year.恭喜發財!